Yeah, how you doing, everybody? It's Monday the 14th of December. It's sort of early on in the morning, and I just want to deal with a couple of things today if I could. I was on the American various websites over the weekend, and locked on the Alex Jones thing on Saturday, and he was saying that the day before this audit the Fed bill had gone through another stage. I think it's quite a significant stage, so all part of this little fella Ron Paul. He's a sort of I'd say he'd be fairly right-wing sort of Republican, but he's at least he's a constitutionalist, and he knows the foundations that America's based on. And basically what they're about is they're trying to get the Fed audited. The Fed's a private consortium of banks, and the government's in bed with them, and the American government's in bed with them, and they provide the money for the American government and all that. So they want to try and get it audited and see what's happening with the money and where it's going and all the rest of it. Interesting times. So we're going to have to follow that up and see what the outcome of it is. But all part of this little fella Ron Paul anyway, and Alex Jones for promoting it. The next thing, fascinating article, major fascinating article today, Irish Times. Put the link up there for you. Have a look at it. AIB executives up to here in property speculation. Okay. Now, when you read it, the article, it'll tell you these guys all they've necks on them. They've fucking necks on them like you wouldn't believe. These boys. Arrogance is unbelievable. They should all be in a pokey. This is all technical fraud what they're about. And the way it works is this. You see, it says within the governances of their own banks, they can't borrow money off their own banks to do speculative, to enter into speculative purposes for it. So how they get around that is, it's like wife swapping. What they do is, they go to other banks. They form companies, then they go to other banks. They know the executives out of the other banks. So it's a quid pro quo. They get the loans from the other banks. They're not in contravention of their own, the parameters of their own companies, but they are. They technically are, because they've done it with a switch. And what happens is, when the other guys from the other companies want loans, they come to them. So it's a case of, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours, or would you like to have my loan of my wife for a weekend and I'll have yours? One of those jobs. Okay. So this will tell you about society, who runs it, what they're all about, and why nothing's going to happen with these banks. These banks know where all the bodies are buried, you see. Anyway, just fascinating stuff. Absolutely fascinating. So they'd only be small guys, but they weren't happy enough with getting their bonuses, these AIB guys and these Bank of Ireland and Ulster Bank and all. They weren't happy enough with getting their big bonuses. No, they want part of the action in there. Arr, 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 arr. Fucking crocodiles. Anyway, the next thing I put up is the Irish bond spread. I couldn't find it. I did found it. The Irish Times do it a couple of times a week. They put it up. They get it from one of these Treasury, I think it's from AIB or from Bank of Ireland Treasury or something. Give them the information, and they put it up on their financial page. I've put the little link up. It's very, very interesting. Okay, tell you, there's it there. It tells you the 10-year bond spread written down in black and white. Germany's the bottom one. They pay 3.14 to get a 10-year bond sold. Okay, so every year the coupon gives the buyer 3.14%. You jump up then to Greece, which is top of the pile. They have to pay 5.6%, and Ireland's just behind them at 4.97. So we're not too far off Greece, and Greece is the true basket case of Europe. Okay, so we're going to monitor that every week and just keep abreast of it, because that tells us how much we've got to pay for the loans when we go to borrow them off the international markets. Okay, interesting stuff. The next thing, another article, fascinating, and I didn't put the article up, but I've put just basically so that you can see what I'm talking about, because the article's quite convoluted in that. It's about what's happened to the price of the share price of independent news and media. And basically what's happened is the share price has gone way down yet again. It showed some recovery, and now it's way down again. And Dennis O'Brien is running around Ireland at the minute trying to get anybody who has any of the shares to buy them, because he wants to get the remainder of the shares if he can. Alright, because he wants control of this company, and he'll do a massive asset stripping operation in this company. He'll fire a load of people out of work, and he'll prune it right down, and if at all possible, no better man than the ruthless one to make it an efficient up and running company if he can. But these are very strange days, and it mightn't just work out. Even the cutest of hens lay out the same. It's true about him. He paid imagine this, he paid 500 million euros for almost 1/4 of that company. The company was valued at 2.2 billion 2 years ago. Do you know what his shares worth today? He bought them at 224. The shares on averaged out at 224. They're worth 10 cents today. So he's lost about 460 million euros. Around about that, 455 million euros. Not a happy camper. Not a happy camper. And anyway, we'll watch that again. Next thing is, by the way, have a look. I've put a little link up to you'll see the closing price on Friday there for the shares. 10 cents they were. Okay. The other thing is a very interesting article in yesterday's Independent about this child, the murder of this child 30-40 years ago down the country, and the involvement of priests in the murder of this child. Okay. And it's only the tip of the iceberg. And people go on about me saying about paedophilia and child abuse and all. When you've got organised child abuse and you're part of a big organisation like the Catholic Church, and the way the Catholic Church were run here in Ireland, they were the main agents of the state. They were the propagandising agents of the state. They were the educational agents of the state. They fulfilled the role that the media plays out now on behalf of the state. They propagandised the youth. Any of the radical elements of the youth had to be propagandised. So that's what the church did. Alright? Run around terrorising people and talking about hell and all this bullshitology. Alright? And what happened anyway was when you rape and you sodomise children in an organised manner, it's only a small step. It's only a tiny step for you to start murdering them. It's only a tiny step. It takes a great step to rape and sodomise children. Does not take, once you arrive at that point, to move on to murder them. So you're going to find out more and more and more of these unsolved cases that are all lying, thousands of them throughout Ireland, about the murders of children and the murders of young people involve priests, paedophile priests and Christian brothers, these brothers. You mark my words. You mark my words. Anyway, we know it's not going to go anywhere. So at least we can talk about it. We have to talk about it in the open and get it out in the open. Okay. Yeah, apologies about that. A bit of a break there. I'm going to have to. I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to have to move over and do another little snip. I wanted to talk about Bernard McNamara. Fascinating stuff. Bernard McNamara. He's one of the two biggies. You know, the other one being this fellow Liam Carroll of Zoe Developments. And McNamara, and I'll do it because I don't have time here, so I'm going to flip over and do another little snip on Mr. McNamara and his shenanigans over the last week. It's interesting. Anyway, I will speak later.